All right. So your requirement was that you do have an IPS and you want to replace this IPS with a new IPS, right? Next generation IPS, for example. The same
Yes.
scenario here, I do have an FTD where we have already configured Ftd One. All the config is present in this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I want to do is that I want to copy this configuration on my Ftd2, which is the blank one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, number one, scenario. Understand the scenario that my FMC is up and running.
Mm-hmm.
That means I have all the data on my FMC now. In this case, it's a pretty straightforward that I can copy from Ftd1 to Ftd2. Another thing to copy that one same configuration, FMC is up and running, but I want to export this configuration because I don't have the device in the same site. It can be on the different site, which is connected to the different FMC. That might be the reason. But the configuration is exactly same as the Ftd1 over here. So what you want to do is that you want to just export that configuration and import it into this Ftd. Now, this thing is a little bit complicated. How it works this one. I can export the configuration, that's good and fine, but I cannot import it from the FMC. I'm exporting with respect to the FMC. That means I do have an option to export the Ftd configuration using FMC, but I don't have any option using the FMC to import it into the different device. I can only export, but cannot import. Now to import that one, it's a little, again, complicated one. So for example, this device is being connected with the Splunk, controlled by the, yeah, managed by the Splunk also. So Splunk is like SNMP thing, more than that one anyhow. For example, you're using the Splunk. Now what you can do is that you can copy this export into the Splunk, and using the Splunk, you can deploy it to your FTD.
Basically, you need an FTP server.
Yeah. But the server, it should be like, it should be able to push the configuration to that FTD using Splunk. So export is supported from the FMC, but for some reason for now, import is not supported using the FMC. Now again, coming to the export, still you will have a lot of problems here for detecting your FTD. Most of the time, for some reason, the FTD is being not detected, managed device. All right, so we will look into both of the options. Number one, which is the straightforward one, so I will go with the data transfer. That's it. To do that one, what I will do, the one which is been, the config is present in the Ftd one, so I will go ahead and click on this one. And I will go to device now, Ftd one. In general, you see that you do have two things here. When I scroll on that one, get device configuration, push device configuration. So if I
Sorry,
click,
sorry. Do we have the FTD2 deployed?
yeah, it's a
Yet?
blank deploy added to that one. And also there is a no policy. I did not assign the same policy. It's a new policy for Ftd2.
Where is the FTD2? Yeah.
Ftd2 here. And you can
Oh
see that
man, why did you deploy it? I want to see everything from the
now it's just
scratch.
a normal process when how we integrated the Ftd. That's what I did. Nothing
Hmm.
new. Only thing
Oh,
is that when I created the policy, I created a new policy. You see that Ftd policy is different, where all my rules are present over there, but in Ftd2, there is no rule. So it's a blank configuration, nothing new I have done in first place.
can we do it from the scratch?
Okay, I can just go ahead and just delete that one. It will unregister it.
Why did you
And
policy? Why didn't you use the policy of the current FTD?
I just want to show you that when we copy the configuration from Ftd1 to Ftd2, automatically this policy will override that policy.
Okay.
That's what I want to showcase that one. So I will go ahead and go to 40 and ftd2 dot. I click on that. That's nothing new. I have done nothing new in this one, so not a problem. All right, so show managers, and I should see that one is completed automatically. No managers configured. Configure manager add FMC one dot with password Cisco123, and I will go ahead here and I will add device. Host will be ftd2 dot.
So once I deploy my FTD,
Yep.
it's gonna be the default admin password.
Different admin. What password you are talking about exactly?
When I receive my new FTD,
Yes.
and it's set up on the internet, on the network for
Default password and
remote access. How do I set the admin password?
Admin password, whenever you deploy the new FTD, it will automatically ask you for the new password.
Okay.
But by default, the password will be, username will be admin, password will be admin123. So once you enter this credential, the next thing it will ask you for the new password.
Okay. Good.
But coming to the SSH connection, there is I did not configure anything. It will automatically enable on the management only.
Okay.
Right, so that's been done. So you see that I'm just using the FTD policy. That's a new policy with the blank configuration on it. I'm assigning the licenses.
Did you set the manager already from the command line?
Yeah, I did one here.
Okay, configure manager. Okay, all right.
Now let's click on register now. That's the only thing I have done. Nothing new.
Okay. So, okay. All right. So
pretty much what I'm doing is like at this point of time, I'm just adding that blank FTD to my FMC now. That's it.
Yes.
But I have created entirely a different policy for that one, so that when I push the configuration from Ftd1 to Ftd2, that policy should be now override.
Okay.
But
do you advise when I bring the new FTD to the FMC, I should add it to the same device group?
Yeah, same device group and with the same policy that will take less time to copy the configuration, because this is an testing environment. This is like a lab environment. So here you do have a very less configuration, but when compared to your production one, where you have a lot of data, right? You already have a data and you want all the data to be pushed to that new device, so it will take time. So while deploying the new device, if you assign the same policy to that device, 50% of your job is done. The only thing is left, that the configuration which is present on the FTD or the IPS, you want that configuration to be copied to the new IPS or FTD. That's all.
Okay. So did you assign the same policy here? It looks like you.
I defined a different policy. You see that FTD?
Yeah. Why did you do that?
To show you that when I push the configuration, it will override that one too.
Okay. All right.
Just to show you that if I push the configuration from Ftd1 to Ftd2, it will also override the Ftd2 policy. So it will remove the Ftd2 policy and it will assign the Ftd policy.
Okay.
So that's what I want to show you. So now let's wait until this one is been finished. So after that, we will go ahead and push the configuration from Ftd1 to Ftd2.
Okay.
All right, so my Ftd2 is being deployed. So I will go ahead and edit the Ftd1. And I will go to devices. And now on the general, you do have this one. You see that? Get device configuration and push the device configuration. If I click on get the device configuration, you see that it is giving FTD2, but it is not. That means it is asking you want to get the configuration from the other device. So in our example, what I'm doing is that I'm pushing the configuration from FTD1 to 2. So if I want to
Mm,
get, I will say to FTD to get the configuration from FTD1. But I am already on the configured device. So what I have to do is that
mm.
I'm pushing the configuration from this device to another device.
Hold
If I
on.
was on FTD2, I would be saying that, okay, get the configuration from FTD1.
So since we are on FTD one, we shouldn't be doing get
Yes, we will be doing push.
push
Click on push and it will say that push the configuration to which device. You see
FTD
that?
two.
The current
Mm-hmm.
device is FTD1. The pushing device will be the FTD2 targeted device. You see that
So
included shared policies. Yep.
does this configuration include the interface configuration and all that good stuff?
Everything should be replicated. Yes.
Wow.
So
You
I'm
didn't tell
just doing this one. Click on OK, and
hmm
we will see what are the different changes because I did not do before. So I'm just doing with you now.
Okay.
So I will push the configuration. After pushing the configuration, we will see what are the different changes in FTD1 and FTD2.
Okay.
All right. So existing policies and device configuration will be overwritten on the FTD. If there is any
Mm.
configuration on the FTD2, that will be overwritten. And this may take a while and you cannot modify the device configuration during this operation. So click on OK. So plan yourself. Copy configuration task added. So on the task, you will see now.
Mm.
So now it's pushing the configuration. Let it push totally. Then we will see what will be the differences, what are the differences and all those things one by one. All right, so device configuration, there is not much device configuration, so that's why the copy is complete now. So now, before that
Mm.
one, I will go to interface of the FTD one. You see that what are the interfaces to we configure the inside interface. Okay. And if you remember that we were using the bridge group, so that's why it has removed the security zone and the IP address. Now you see
Mm-hmm.
that gigabyte 0/2 DMZ. I do have two interfaces here, and I do
Mm-hmm.
have the BVI gig 0/4 BVI interface over here, and 5 and 6 for my inline set. So if I go to inline sets, so these are my inline sets. So let's go to FTD2 now. Let's see what are the device configuration being pushed. Now, you see that the policy, the applied policy is out of date. It should be overwriting the policy also. Let me go to the task once more. Let's see whether it's running or not. Aha, it's completed. So it did not override the policy. I don't know why. Should be overriding the policy too. All right, so let's go inside that one. Let's see. I got all the configuration now. You see that IP addresses, everything is being copied, but the interfaces are not in a no shut format. Everything is being shut. See that in
Mm-hmm.
shut. So if I go to inline, inline also copied. That's fantastic. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So that means all the configuration is there. But the only thing is that if I go to policy, you see that targeting device 0, FTD2
Mm-hmm.
policy targeting device 0, FTD policy targeting device are 2. It has overwritten, but for some reason it did not show up over there.
You said
So if
one
I,
device, one out of data.
yeah, you see that when I go inside the policy assessment, you see that I do have both FTDs over here assigned to it.
All right, let's do this. Let's go back. Let's go back to devices.
Yeah, it should be updating over there that it is being upgraded to FTD policy.
So let's go to FTD2
Yep.
and let's enable those interfaces.
Okay. No shut data interfaces.
Yes, let's
No.
enable those interfaces.
All right. So okay,
Some
that's
of
been
the interfaces.
enabled.
Mhm.
Okay, let me save this one because those are enabled already been enabled. I just need to deploy that configuration. go to deployment, it should show me that it should be deployed to FTD2.
Okay.
On the Ftd1, it says interface policy. On Ftd2, it says, you see that? That's the whole configuration it is now sending to the Ftd2.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it has been copied offline, but it not been deployed. So for now, I will just put the
Oh,
FTD configuration I'm pushing now to the device.
I think
And
that's why it is showing red because it has
okay,
not
the
been
changes to the virtual router may cause the traffic disruption. That should be fine, deployed,
first.
because we created the bridge group, right, interface.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about this one because I was creating the redundant interface before, so that's why it is providing that interface policy. So now I'm deploying the actual configuration now. So it was copied in the FMC, but not to the actual device so far. So now it is copying to the actual device. So let it finish now. So I will go to the task and click on tasks, and you can see there are different tasks should be running here. Yep. So it is now pushing the policy now.
Mm.
So once the policy has been pushed, that should be done. So far, what I would go to device management because that page takes a little time to load and come back to the task here.
I'm wondering if it is if if there is not gonna be issue if we when we bring the new device to FMC,
Yep.
we just assign the existing policy to it instead of creating a new policy.
Yeah,
Then
just
after,
assign the existing policy. Yes, that should be fine. No issues. All right. So application has sorry, configuration has been pushed now. So just waiting for that one to be show up now. Okay, so now I get it why it was showing the FTD2 policy because it did not actually push the configuration. So that's why it was showing that FTD2 policy was assigned to the FTD2. Now the
mm-hmm,
actual configuration has been pushed to the FTD2. Now it should show that it has been assigned to FTD policy. It should be updated over here now.
mm-hmm.
Here you go. You see that? Updated now. Now if I go to FTD2 now, my interfaces should be no shut now. Yep, no shut. That's all good. Bang bang. And if I go to my inline, see that here is the inline. Now another way to get the what if you want to export the configuration of this FTD and you want to import into the different FTD which is on your different site. So to do that one, I go to the system and go to the tools, backup and restore. And here you see that firepower management backup. I don't want the management one. I want the managed device backup. I want the backup of the managed device. So click on that one. And you see that you should be seeing the FTDs over here, but I'm not able to see any FTDs. So once I see FTD, I will click on that one. Click on retrieve to management center because that will be saving into the management center, FMC, into this directory now. So it will store it into this directory in the FMC and whatever the FTD you select, click on start backup and that should be good. Now backup profiles. So I think this is a default one, config only backup. Click on edit. Let me see that one. All right. So by default, it is already taking a config only backup. And I'm exactly not sure for which it is taking, for which devices it is taking. So what I will do, I will just say that start the backup. Let me do that one because I'm unable to see on the backup management my FTDs or anything. Right. So it says that message center task tab. If I go to the task, it says that backup config only backup. It is starting to back up now. but I'm exactly not sure which backup it is taking because I did not select
Yeah.
the FTDs
Yeah, it
also.
doesn't show the devices
Yeah.
to select.
But
Yeah,
if I
this
did,
is
whenever you go to the backup management, it will show you with the FTDs. Once you select that FTD, you will get that file over here. Once it is been taken backup, it will show up the file here. And if you can download that file too now after that.
so when you upload the configuration from FTD1 to FTD2,
Yeah.
it does it doesn't upload the management
No,
IP, right?
doesn't upload the management. Nothing to do with the
It doesn't
management.
override the management IP.
No, because if it overrides the management, I would have lost the FTD2 connection, SSH connection, right? Okay, this
Yeah.
one is FTD2. Yeah, you see that FTD2, this is my on the top. So if it has overridden, it would have lost my connection. So if I say the show network, whatever be the like 172.16.1.20, that should be the address. See that management, it did not override the management. But it does override all the config except the management. Show interface IP3, see that all the configuration is there now. All right, so on the task, it is taking the backup. I think let's take it, let it finish that one, and after that, you will get a file and you can download that file. So once you get that file, what you can do is that you can just transfer that file to your Splunk, and from the Splunk, you can just push it to the FTDs. And after that, you do have a command to restore the device. So follow that command. I'm not sure exactly because which command is that one, but there is a command. Once you provide that command, the FTD automatically detects that there is that particular restored file, and from that file, it will boot up the configuration. So that is the second method, which is not preferable. So first method is pretty much easy. So go to the device management, and go inside the device, go to general, get the configuration or push the configuration. That should be done. So that was your migration now. Any questions?
No, I think it looks good.
Pretty easy, right? I did not thought so.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems very easy.
To be honest, I did not expect that it would be pretty easy so much. But
Yeah,
the
so
only, yep.
you researched about it yesterday?
All right, you see that management center. So now this backup, I am exactly not sure what kind of backup it is. I think, let me see, what is that one? Oh, boy. I have no idea what this one is. Either it's for the FMC or FTD. I think this is for the FMC because I did not select any device. So
Yeah, it looks like that's for the FM.
FMC, yeah.
I mean, that's fine. This is not really
See
applicable
that
to.
firewall policy target. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's for the FMC, which I have taken the backup for now. But usually it should be the when I go to the backup and restore on the manage device. And if I click on manage device backup, this is where it should show you the FTD. You select the FTD, it will show you with the same file which is now shown here. Okay, whatever the file has been downloaded now, this is the same file. It will show you exactly the same thing, like similar thing, but for the FTD. So when you open that one, it will show you the configuration related to the FTD. All right, so that was your migration, backup, and restore.
Yeah, I think we can.